The fall of Call of Duty is absolutely amazing to see. So many people are waking up to how terrible this franchise has gotten. They are rejecting Black Ops 7, and not only are Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders completely crushing it right now in terms of the reception, but also the player counts that are public, but it also has the series lowest user scores. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, so many people have been talking about the Call of Duty curse being lifted from them. People like me who previously loved Call of Duty tried to give them a chance every single time a new game came out, but enough is enough. A lot of people are completely rejecting Black Ops 7, saying they didn't even download it from Game Pass, they're not playing it and supporting it. And from what we are seeing happening publicly, it looks like this game is going to be a complete and utter disaster for Microsoft Gaming. They have always relied on Call of Duty doing well, but in a time where something like Battlefield 6 is doing amazing, not only the base game, but RedSec as well, and Arc Raiders has insane numbers, yeah, it's pretty obvious to see that there are much better options out there, that wasting your time in BO7 just isn't the way to go. And now we're finding out that it is just doing abysmally. So Black Ops 7 has not reached #1 on Steam during launch weekend, with Arc Raiders still holding the top spot on top selling. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6 on Steam did reach #1 during launch weekend, and these games were, of course, on Game Pass day one. They were on these other platforms, but usually it dominates Steam for a little while. Usually Black Ops and just the latest Call of Duty tend to be the #1 in most storefronts, but not this time around. Arc Raiders is, yes, cheaper, it is higher quality, and it's just more interesting. It feels much fresher. We know that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 also has the series lowest Metacritic user ratings. While it does have an 84 critic score on Metacritic, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is not faring well with its user reviews. And of course, as I always say, fuck the critics. The critics do not know what gamers want. They do not know what a good game is, and we cannot trust them because, yes, they are paid to promote these games and shill for them. And if they do not have access, they are not the media anymore. And if these large AAA companies go away and they stop making these games, then the access media becomes completely irrelevant. They give things like Arc Raiders 2 out of 5 stars because it's got AI and that's so bad, but then they go on to give Black Ops 7 a 3 out of 5 and they completely ignore its use of AI. Yeah, nobody trusts Eurogamer, but nobody should trust Kotaku, Polygon, The Gamer, or Eurogamer. We should completely ignore the critic scores at this point because generally they have no idea what gamers want. And sure, a broken clock is right twice a day. There are times where users will rate something poorly, the critics will rate something poorly, and we're all on the same side, but how often does that happen? Not very. So, Black Ops 7, which released last weekend, hasn't had the best launch. While praise is there to the multiplayer and zombies, the game is in some hot water. I have not seen anybody praising this game that is just a normal gamer on social media. The only positive attention I've seen this getting is from the media. That's crazy to me. So on Metacritic, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 currently has an 84 critic score with 16 reviews. However, the user rating, which has more than 540 reviews, is not as great. As of writing, the score is a 1.6 out of 10. 2023's Modern Warfare 3, which is one of the lowest scoring Call of Duties with a 56 critic score, still has a higher user rating with a 2.3. And I had, of course, made a post on this over on X. I was talking about it a little bit, and wow, oh wow, do a lot of you agree with this score? I said the difference is wild, and it's got currently 12,000 likes, 220,000 views, and people saying in the best interest of the users, the people who actually matter, these websites should stop creating separate categories for critic reviews. The value of critic reviews is non-existent, and the damage is evident. They should be aggregate with all other users, and I completely understand this mentality mentality, but I disagree with Asmongold because I think it's important that they're separate so we can constantly call them out and see just how out of touch they really are with the gaming population, how out of touch they really are with the people that they need to read their articles. Game journalists are corporate bootlickers. Somehow I'm not surprised. The thing about Call of Duty is this: it's not a game for gamers, it's a game for the masses. There are people in my workplace that own PlayStation 5s and they only buy 2-ish games per year, FIFA and Call of Duty. And this is a really good point that they're just trying to appeal to the largest audience possible, and they don't really care about the dedicated fans. They just care about making the most amount of money as quickly as possible. And so that means just putting flashy neon lights in trailers, putting a few well-known actors in it, and hoping that it's going to sell. Ultimately, critics don't want the same things we do. This is also another very good point. They are completely out of touch. They are looking for things that are going to line their pockets as quickly as possible, just like these companies. And so if they continue to shill for the Activision Blizzards and really the Microsoft Gamings, they continue to keep their access. Worse than Pokemon Z to A. We all know why. Now, let's see those Critic receipts and current monetary transactions. I absolutely think that that is great. Can we stop pretending like these critics matter? And they don't matter. None of us should take their score seriously, but it is always good to point out just how out of touch they really are. And when we don't call them out, we get the Anita Sarkeesians, we get the Brianna Woos, we get the Zoe Quinns, we get the people that are going to continue to force their way into this industry when they don't know this industry. We need to gatekeep. We need to see how out of touch these people really are at all times. This is almost as bad as IGN giving a Concord a 7 out of 10 rating, which is very freaking true. And if we look at the SteamDB charts, wow, does it look dire for Call of Duty. Now, this is the Call of Duty hub. You can't actually just individually view the Black Ops 7 numbers, but the 24-hour peak is 100,332. Keep in mind, 3 years ago was 491,670, so that definitely is not great. And in-game right now is 73,687. True, this does not include console numbers or Game Pass numbers, but they still need individual downloads, individual sales, and if the max was 100,000 on release weekend, that doesn't paint a pretty picture. Same goes with Battlefield 6. This is not just Battlefield 6, it also includes RedSec, which is free to play, but the 24-hour peak was 299,135, and in-game right now is 214,000, and Arc Raiders is a behemoth game right now. All-time peak was 23 hours ago at 481,966, and in-game right now is 352,005. So very different pictures being painted here, and you love to see it. I, for years, have wanted Call of Duty to get a taste of its own medicine and to see these developers finally start to wake up to the backlash they've faced. Every single year, yes, a lot of people buy Call of Duty, and I'm sure that Call of Duty is still going to sell this year, but we have seen a monumental amount of backlash that I don't think they can continue to ignore. I think that they actually have to go back to the drawing board, try to figure out what it is that players really want, because you could only take a public beating like this so often and so many times before you finally say enough is enough, we need to change our tune. So yeah, right now Call of Duty is not doing good. Battlefield 6 is doing amazing, Arc Raiders is doing amazing, but Black Ops 7 has the franchise's lowest user scores on Metacritic. We're seeing the player counts be really bad, and gamers are wrecking it on social media. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.